Welcome into Texans Today, everybody. I'm your host, Jeremy Chuggs, and we have a jam-packed show on tap for you today. Could the Texans get a sneaky free agent target? Did Cal promise renovations to NRG Stadium? And a new top 30 visit for your Houston Texans. Another offensive lineman, which may reveal the Texans' draft plans moving forward. Before we get into all of that, a little lighthearted way to start off today's show. I saw this on Twitter yesterday, and I absolutely love it. With the focus on Titans Blue in 2025 and into the future, the Titans will not be wearing their throwback Oiler uniforms this upcoming season. Interesting. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, but the last two times the Titans have worn their Oiler throwbacks against the Houston Texans, they've gotten their cheeks clapped. So it's not a coincidence, in my opinion, that they're going to scrap the Oilers uniforms in 2025. Spam those LOLs in the comment section. I mean, it just goes on to prove they don't deserve the Oilers uniforms. It's not theirs, and they know it. Deep down inside, they know it, and we've been their daddy the past couple of seasons. So spam those LOLs because the Titans are going to tighten, and they're going to look like absolute fools, especially this season because they're not going to wear the Oilers uniforms, but the Texans are still going to clap them cheeks. Next up on today's show, a new top 30 visit for your Houston Texans. Another offensive lineman, not a first rounder, somebody who's been rising up draft boards. That is William and Mary offensive tackle Charles Grant. Now, he is believed to be a, dark horse candidate for like an end of the first round guy, but I would say consensus second, third round option for an offensive tackle. Great stats at William and Mary per PFF. 90.7 overall grade, pass blocking 88.1, run blocking 89.9, 2 sacks, 7 penalties on the season, 6 hurries, only 1 QB hit allowed. I mean, he was fantastic. Now, it is a smaller school guy, so you do have to wonder, do you worry about that transition from that level to the NFL? But we've seen it before. Look at Titus Howard. He was a smaller school guy who we drafted, and I don't know where he plays this year, but obviously the Texans team has drafted offensive linemen from smaller schools in the past. But as we look at the top 30 visits for your Houston Texans, I look at the offensive tackles. Obviously we have the two running backs, Jaydon Blue, Brashard Smith, who both those guys are speedsters. Kyle Williams, Matthew Golden, the 2 wide receivers, and then the two defensive guys, Shavon Revel Jr. and Easton Mascarenas-Arnold. But the 2 offensive tackles that they visited with so far, it gives me the vibe that they're not going to go tackle in round 1. I don't think they believe that Kelvin Banks or Josh Simmons is going to fall to them in round 1. So I think they're preparing to say, hey, we're going to take a tackle on day 2, whether that's in round 2 or round 3. I think the Texans, that's where they're going to target their tackle and probably have them sit back and learn behind a Cam Robinson and a Trent Brown this year and be that swing tackle that the Texans can use. I believe where the Texans are at right now, most likely at pick 25, if they stay there, if they don't trade up or trade back, it's going to be first one of the top wide receivers on the board. If one of their top wide receivers aren't on the board, they probably go interior offensive lineman. And then next up would be a top defensive player if somebody slides down the board. Those are the 3 people that I could see the Texans looking at pick 25 if they don't trade up or trade down out of that pick. Now, next up, a sneaky free agent signing that's been mentioned by a couple people around the Texans Twitterverse, a couple other Texans content creators. Who could the Texans possibly sign? It is Tyler Lockett. Tyler Lockett, former Seattle Seahawk, could be a sneaky free agent target for this Texans team at the wide receiver spot. I've seen a couple people across, Texans Twitter online mention, maybe the Texans could go after a guy like a Tyler Lockett. Here's my opinion on this. I don't think the Texans make any sort of move at the wide receiver spot before the NFL draft, and I don't think that makes sense for them to do so either, because that kind of shows your hand at what you're going to do in the first and second round. I think the Texans could, if a top guy like Matthew Golden or Emeka Egbuka is there at pick 25, go wide receiver in round 1. Or maybe they hold off and they go with the guy in round 2. But either way, I don't think it makes sense for them to put any, capital, any money towards another wide receiver free agent this offseason, at least before the draft. If you agree with me, go like the video, because I really do believe the Texans aren't going to sign another wide receiver before the NFL draft this season. I don't think it makes sense. I think it makes more sense to wait until after the draft, and if they don't find anybody that they absolutely love, then they'll go ahead and look at some free agent options after that's all settled. Now, coming up, did Cal McNair promise to fix NRG? Well, he sent a letter to all the season ticket holders, and I have exactly what he said coming up in just a moment. But they finally released them. Let me know, what do we think in the comment section? Do we like the new Texans draft hats? There's this one with the pin, and then there's this one with like the red bill, and it's the black with the new Texans secondary logo. I think they're pretty cool. I like the one with the pin a little bit more. You can check those out in every single Texans hat available right now with our friends over at Fanatics. All you got to do, go to chatsports.com/Texans hats. That will be in the comment section and description of today's video. Like I said, they have the secondary logo. They have snapbacks, they have fitteds, they have dad hats, they have trucker hats, all available, like I said, with our friends over at Fanatics. You can go check them all out today. That link is in the comment section description of today's video. If you use that lets Fanatics know that we sent you over there. So go check them out today and go see all the hats that you can possibly purchase. Now, is there a promise on the table? Did Cal McNair put pen to paper and say, I promise to fix NRG? Well, sort of. He sent a letter to season ticket holders, and he did mention NRG Stadium, which I think is pretty cool of Cal to at least, address the elephant in the room. And he actually did mention all the articles, all the press that's been around NRG Stadium. So if you don't think your voice matters, if you don't think us making these videos, us, talking about this matters, it does. The Texans front office, the Texans leadership, hell, Harris County, they listen to this stuff, because the more people talk about it, the more people raise concerns, they're going to have to address it. So shout out to everybody out there. And hey, if you've been following along, we've been following this story for months. Now, on to what Cal McNair actually said to season ticket holders. It's a lot, so I'm going to break it down into 2 sections for you. First, this is what I have to say. Off the field, there have been several articles written in recent weeks about the future of NRG Stadium. Although we are 7 years away from the expiration of our lease, I want you to know that we are working collaboratively and diligently with our partners, the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, Harris County, and HCSCC, to identify the best path forward. With those partners, we have conducted a number of studies and continue to learn more about what we need to be successful in the future under the leadership of our new team president, Mike Toman, who has an extensive history of developing and renovating stadiums. So I'm just going to take you along a little reason of why you need to hit that subscribe button in 3 videos, because everything that was mentioned right there, we have talked about on the channel. As soon as they hired Mike Toman, I put out this video. Who is this and why does it matter? And you look what's in the background of this photo. NRG Stadium and the Astrodome, because that's what I highlighted in this video, how he's going to affect the Texans moving forward with their plans with NRG Stadium. I also put out another video right here about Cal McNair and the future of NRG Stadium, highlighting some great reporting by John Alexander from the Houston Chronicle around NRG Stadium, how much is owed, what it would look like to move away, and what the factors are on why the Texans would or wouldn't move a stadium somewhere else in the Houston area. And then I was maybe one of the only people to report on this around the Houston Rodeo and multiple disasters that happened around the Houston Rodeo this past year, from a stage being caught on fire to a sewage pipe being burst on multiple people within an NRG Stadium. So if you have no idea around this story, I implore you, go hit that subscribe button, because you would be the most notified Texan fan out there if you hit that sub button, turn on those notifications, because I promise you, anything and everything around your Houston Texans, we're breaking down here on the channel. So let's go over the rest of what Cal McNair had to say in this letter to season ticket holders regarding NRG Stadium. This is the last part of the letter. We support a renovation of NRG Stadium and are committed to exploring all potential solutions to ensure long-term success. We want to ensure we have a world-class facility that provides a competitive advantage for our team and a great experience for our fans while standing tall as a community asset. Ultimately, with our valued partners, our goal is to find a solution that works for all stakeholders involved, where everyone feels like a winner. And I think, it was really big of Cal to at least, especially to the season ticket holders, people that are paying every single year, some of the most loyal fans that the Texans have, to at least give an explanation and say, hey, I know there's an elephant in the room, NRG Stadium. There is, going to have to be a period coming up where there's going to have to be a decision whether they're going to fix NRG Stadium or possibly look to build a new stadium in the city of Houston. And I think it's nice that he's at least, touching on that right now and saying, hey, we are already thinking of it. We're already coming up with a solution, and we are really trying to fix this problem of, there's a lot that needs to be fixed around NRG Stadium, and not just the stadium, not just within the walls, around NRG Stadium as well. There's not really any bar scene. There's not a lot of parking. There's not a lot of, attraction and stuff that's bringing people in around the stadium. It's not a, fun place to hang out. And I think the Texans see that. They see what's going on around the landscape of, professional sports in America. They see all these other cities building cool areas around their stadiums, making it a spot to go hang out, making it a spot where you want to be even if there isn't a game at the stadium. They see that. They see the problems in the stadium, and they say, hey, you know what? We're going to fix this. We want to make the Texans a world-class organization, and I do have to applaud Cal McNair and the Texans front office and the organization for taking a step forward towards that with this letter to the season ticket holders. Now, that's all I have for you on today's show, but if you made it to the very end, hey, we are still on the road to 30,000 subscribers by the NFL Draft. We currently have 28,413, which means simple mental math. You need 1,583 subscribers before the NFL Draft. I promise you, if we get to that 30,000 number, we are going to be going live for the Texans' first selections in the NFL Draft. I want to do it. I know y'all want to do it. We want to party on draft night. The only way we can do that is if we hit 30,000 subscribers.